Hello and welcome to episode number 32 of the All Things Sports Podcast. Audio listeners, please skip the 5 minutes into our show to skip our live stream intro. We will see you in 5 minutes. All hockey talk today. All hockey talk. Yes, we will. Where's my? Oh, there we go. Hello and welcome to episode number 32 of the All Things Sports Podcast. My name is Zach Bischoff, and this guy is...
Danny Janholzer.
All right, today we will talk about what do you want to call it, Danny? Atrocious performance by the Penguins last night, huh?
Yeah.
And I also do need to take a brief moment. Well, we'll get into that later. So the Penguins last night, I think, were quite frankly outplayed by the Montreal Canadiens in the first and third periods. I will opine on why on that in a moment. Danny, I want to first get your thoughts on the game and how you think the Pens performed.
Yeah, Zach, as you mentioned in the beginning here, bud, obviously great feedback here with you, and appreciate everybody for listening. But yeah, as you mentioned in the beginning.
I'm sorry, can you believe that we are on 32 episodes of this podcast?
32 episodes, Zach.
I should have mentioned this something at 30, but I will let you please proceed.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just a little bit of reflection here. I mean, it's been a great journey here. So, but yeah, as you were saying, Zach, I mean, it was not good last night. For those who are not familiar, the Penguins were defeated by the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 3-2 in overtime after Evgeny Malkin scored the 2 goals for the Penguins, and then Montreal countered with 3 straight unanswered goals to win. Now, I know we're only 3 games into the season, so I do want to say that you know, I think we're still getting our feet under us. I think that this isn't going to become a standard for the Penguins. But I was discouraged after seeing us put up 12 goals in our first 2 games, as we talked about on the last podcast, and just being dominant over last year's Stanley Cup finalists, and then we start off really well, and then we tail off at the end. You know what I mean, Zach?
Yeah, that's right. We do. Yeah, I mean, it was. I think, quite frankly, watching the first period here, I think the Pens were playing on their heels most of the first period, and I think it was pretty even. Because once the Pens got out to where the Pens at least thought they got out to a 1-goal advantage, or a minute and 4 seconds into the game, but that was waved off after the officials had decided that it had never crossed the line, and it did not when I saw the in net camera. And I think from then they got into a tailspin, and they were outplayed, like I said, by the Canadiens the remainder of that game. Now the second period was better. I mean, that's when Malkin scored his 2 goals, and he had a good performance. And yeah, I think that in overtime, if you're Jeff Petrie, you can't take 4 penalties in a game. That was interesting, and they kept their arms down most of the, But as soon as I saw his arm go up, I'm like, oh god, game. And this was in overtime. I'm like, game over, because you usually don't kill off a 2-minute 4-on-3 power play in overtime.
No. And Jack, real quick.
Yes.
So for those that didn't watch the game, as Zach mentioned, Dan Heinen, we thought may have scored following up that fabulous performance when he had that absolutely nasty goal. Zach, if that had happened, and I just want to right now get on Danton Heinen's bandwagon here for the season, I think he's going to have a big year for us, Zach.
I think he will too.
So I just wanted to make that quick note.
Yeah, he's going to be a standout player, I think, for the Pens. This season. So yeah, I mean, it's what else? What else can we go with here? If you saw the tweet last night, which was tweeted out, as I find it here. Here is our Twitter handle. You can. We will eventually, at some point, start live tweeting games along, like the rest of the typical sports media does. Now, do we consider ourselves sports media? We do not. I mean, maybe in our own heads we do, but we are in no way. We are not professionals at this. Although some of you out there might think we are, but we are not. So yeah, I think as we move to the Penguins box score here, the Penguins, the shots, we were outshot by Montreal 39 to 28 in favor of the Canadians. 3 penalties aside, and obviously, I'm not going to say anything stupid. And now as we move into the Penguins box score here, we have, let's see, Game on. Well, you all know, Game Malkin had 2 goals on the night. It was just a really, really lackluster performance for the Pens. And as we move over to the Canadian side of the box score now, we have Cole Caulfield, who is always dangerous. You don't want to let him shoot from anywhere. Well, you don't want to let him shoot, period. And then you have Nick Suzuki, who is also dangerous against the Penguins. And we, of course, have Kirby Dach, who scored the overtime winner for the Canadians. So I think the Canadians, like I said, we've been outplayed. Now it seems like we're repeating ourselves, but we need to go down that point that we were just outplayed last night. And even said after the game, that they got what they deserved tonight, and they did not. It didn't seem like he was happy with his performance.
Yeah, no, going off of that too, Zach. Like, I mean, you see kind of a trend here where, a lot of these young guys. I mean, like you were saying, Caulfield, Dach, for Montreal. What's up?
Dach, as in you docked it somewhere. That's how you pronounce his name.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
See, Zach is the. He's our ultimate pronunciation. He's our pronunciation guru. No, appreciate you, Zach. No,
I'm about to not be, but So.
yeah.
Little over 12 hours from now, but for now, I am.
Yeah. No, but Zach, like, part of I don't think this is a worry, because I think we've shown that like opening night, our veterans really like showed out and played really well here. And Evgeny Malkin obviously scored 2 goals for us.
The bear has been poked.
Yeah, no, but like, Zach, here's my thing: is like we have a couple of young guys here that have really been contributing. I mean, but like, I don't know, like, we don't have a guy like Cole Caulfield. I feel like we don't have like that. Like, we have fresh, like we have fresh players that are new to the system, but like not in that type of way, if that makes sense. And that's kind of like a worry that I have a little bit, because it seems like, at least for this past couple of years, it's been the same. We've stuck to the same formula, and look what there's got us. We've gotten able to go to the playoffs, but we haven't gotten over that hump, Zach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We have not been able to go past the first round since the 2016 and 2017 Stanley Cup winning seasons for the Pens, which I remember like it was yesterday. And I remember, like, for those of you that did not watch those games, I remember Chris Kunitz, he scored the Game 7 overtime winner, or double overtime. I don't remember. He scored Game 7 OT winner to send us to the final. I believe that was in 16. I believe. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to watch, like, post Crosby, Malkin, and the Sang, just to see like how this team does. Now, I still think they could be a playoff team. I mean, they have good pieces in place right now, and they have a lot of talent out east, and, well, at least for us, in Wilkes-Barre. in the AHL, or Wilkes-Barre, as it's apparently pronounced like that. Anyway, like Sam Poulin, he's going to be, he'll get his shot here in a couple, maybe next year.
Pickering,
obviously, right? Pickering, yeah.
But it's like, and I know that this is something that I struggle with, Zach, is patience, because I see all those guys that are like, Cole Caulfield was playing college hockey a couple years ago, and he's tearing up that. Like, and I know that these guys might get to that point, but when you mentioned Cole Caulfield, Zach, I was like, who is most comparable to Cole Caulfield in our org? You know what I mean?
Yeah, who's the Cole Caulfield of Pittsburgh? But and right now there is not one. But I'm thinking that either Pickering or Poulin could be that type of player for us.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we want to talk about? Just the like the Penguins of the penalty kill. They were saying, in the network pre-games tips to win here, or keys to the game, whatever they like to call it, is they were saying, the penalty kill's starting to set in. Well, we should never say anything like that, because it just never seems to happen that way. And I think that the Penguins were particularly undisciplined last game. They took a lot of penalties, and penalties that they only took 3 penalties, but those 3 or 4 penalties. But those penalties were all at inopportune times in the game.
And I will say this too is like, we mentioned the Canadians' youth they have. This is if we have a young team, like if we're playing against the Canadians, for example, and we have guys, it's their 17th year playing together, the opposite of what we want to do is to allow them to hang around in the game, and that's what we did last night here. We only scored 2, and then they got a quick one, and then they were able to get it to overtime here. We let them hang around, and eventually they beat us here. So that would be something that I would definitely address if I was Mike Sullivan there.
Yeah, I mean, they every team has things to clean up, but the Penguins, I don't. It's not time to hit the panic button. I can't tell you the last time we did hit the panic button.
3 games in.
I don't think we ever have hit the panic button. But panic button's here to be pressed.
Yeah.
So,
who do we got next, Zach? I haven't looked that far ahead because trying to focus on the present. But
we have the Los Angeles Kings.
Okay.
Now on Thursday.
So hopefully,
yes,
we can rebound. But Zach, and this, like, I feel like the schedule as a whole has kind of been a little bit all over the place, and like I'm just into because obviously the real games that the most competitive games I would say are the Metro division games.
Oh, yeah. Now this Western Canadian road trip we have coming up here. That begins, I believe, after Thursday night's game, has me worried slightly.
Yeah.
Just because let me pull her up here. Danny, entertain the people for a minute.
No, I mean, like you were saying, Zach, I mean, I just think a road trip, this early in the season, playing. I mean, we played. This early in the season, it's very hard to predict, how things will go here, and like I'm sure that that like we always, these games count just as much as the games when we get to closer to playoff time here. So as much as they feel like we got a lot of them left, I feel like and I feel like this is obviously probably preached a lot to players, is like we got to get off to a good start, because a good start, dictates how the year's going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It also doesn't help that I believe 13 of your next 16 games are road games. So
wow. Yeah.
The Western Canadian trip is Edmonton, Calgary. That's back to back, and then Vancouver, and then we play at Seattle, of course. That's a late game. I won't be able to watch that. But I might, for purposes of this podcast. We'll see. I might take it. So yeah, I think that we need to salvage at least one. I don't think we're going to win at Edmonton. I just don't. I think that that team is way too dangerous. And then Calgary and the legendary Daryl Sutter, their head coach. He's an absolute legend of a guy. I think we could beat Calgary, and their arena is just nice. The Saddle Dome up there, and then Vancouver we shouldn't have an issue with. Shouldn't say that. That's probably a trap game. So is the next one, and I think Columbus is a trap game too because they haven't won a game yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the Penguins schedule. We're looking ahead here. It's not going to be easy. I mean,
Yeah.
see a whole bunch of Carolina in here. That's not good. So yeah, I think the Pens it's got to clean it up here, and yeah, let's see any other thoughts. And I realize we forgot to do marketing, but we will scratch that at this point.
No, Zach.
Little late for that.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, just obviously, it's still early. So for those Penguins fans listening, we're like, at least I am by no means saying we still have a winning record. It's early, but Zach and I over here really like to analyze every flaw that we smell. But I just think that like you were saying, Zach, is we cannot. We've got to continue to kind of keep plugging along here because the teams that have stress late in the year are the teams that have to play catch up because of the way they started here.
Yes, and yeah, that is not that we will not. The Penguins ideally will not. This will not become a trend. And we will not have to press the panic button that I have sitting here waiting to be pressed. Unfortunately, it is not a red button.
That would be.
It says panic on it, but we'll see.
That might be an investment we have to make.
Maybe. All right, I think that is going to do it for this episode of the All Things Sports Podcast. Danny, I would like you to say goodbye to the people now, as I have a couple of words to say to the people, and I will be soloed on the screen. So please say goodbye to Daniel over there.
Yeah, Zach. I mean, obviously, we're gonna be taking a bit of a hiatus here.
Nope. That's my line. That's all mine.
Oh, okay.
All right. You know what? You're being removed from the stream for that. All right. So this is the last live episode of All Things Sports for an indefinite period of time. Now, my jaw surgery, it will be taking place tomorrow morning, and I will not be able to go live for a little bit. And now I think that, I'll be able to speak and everything before then, but I will be swollen through here. So I'll probably not be coming on camera for, I'd say, 3 to 6 months. Now, we'll still be active. We have a couple of things pre-recorded that we will send out, and we will make sure that those do say they're pre-recorded, but it will be the same format like this. So we will like to say just stick with us, and we will send updates on our Twitter handle. Please follow us there for any updates on my condition. I will try and tweet as soon as I am able to, either tomorrow or in the next couple of days. And now for one final time, for a couple of months here, I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. And until then, bye for now.